Okay, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the complete solo run of Toontown Written. We're here in episode 4, despite the fact that episode 3 is not, well actually, episode 3 has not been released as of recording this video. I'm sure we'll rant about how episode 2 took forever to freaking edit, as well as attempt to convert it to a file type that is compatible with the ability to actually be uploaded to YouTube. I'm sure I'll rant about that a little bit. But yeah, we are back here, episode 4 of the complete solo run of Toontown Written. Our task is to defeat 2 cold callers, so we'll do that real quick. How loud are sound effects? Kinda loud, I would say. What's my volume at? Yeah, that's kinda loud. Because I know music's super loud. Yeah. Music's super loud. But that might be loud as well. It's I mean, I don't know. I'm not hearing my voice, so I can't tell how loud it is compared to my voice, but that does seem pretty loud. And again, I've not found a way to create any way of making the game sound lower, because Toontown doesn't even have that built into the game. Come on now. Come on, TTR. Now granted, I can make it quieter on my end, but that's not what it records. It's going to record the core game sound. Anyhow. So, today is Wednesday, October 12th, which means the NHL season is starting today. It's not for the Minnesota Wild, of course. They start tomorrow, but for 8 teams of the 30, the season starts today. So most notably, you got Blues Blackhawks. That's the big game going to today. You've also got Maple Leafs Senators, 2 Canadian teams. Flames, Oilers, 2 more Canadian teams. Is it short change or cold collar? Cold collar. And you've also got the LA Kings against the San Jose Sharks. All of these games fairly good, It'll definitely be interesting. Granted, these aren't the best teams in the league, of course. I mean, Chicago, they are. Ish to a degree, so are the Kings, but now granted, this is the start of the season, so you really don't know which teams are going to shine, You're going to assume Blackhawks are going to make playoffs, and you're going to assume Edmonton is not. I mean, those are 2 safe assumptions, but you never know. I mean, after the freaking Edmonton Oilers traded away Taylor Hall, as well as Neil Yakupov, you've got to wonder what they're thinking here. I mean, you can't just trade away one of your best players and have great success if you don't get anybody in return. I mean, they got maybe a second-line defenseman in exchange for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. Come on. You can't just trade away Taylor Hall. I mean, granted, Edmonton, this team that always needs defense. They've always been an offensive-focused team, but Taylor Hall. How do you trade away Taylor Hall? Come on. That's like the Montreal Canadiens trading away PK Subban, which happened. Right after they said, hey, yeah, PK Subban's gonna be a Canadian for a very long time. Traded him a week later. Ah. This is not the best street, is it? For this? No. I went here because I knew it was 25 overall street and I just want to rant about whatever. But you don't just trade away Taylor Hall or Neil Yakupov. They gave St. Louis Neil Yakupov for basically nothing. I know, they gave St. Louis gave up a prospect and a third-round draft pick. Woohoo! Nope, that's not the right button. Whoops. Good thing it's not an insure option, man. But how do you just trade away Neil Yakupov? Come on, Edmonton. I mean, Edmonton is a team you want to see do well. They're a team. Oops, I hit 4. But they're a team that's been so terrible for so many years. They've gotten how many #1 draft picks? They've gotten Taylor Hall, Neil Yakupov, Connor McDavid. You've got to produce something with those guys. I mean, granted, a team is more than its best players, sure. St. Louis probably won't really know that because they are a team with Tarasenko. Skeen, Brodziak, Pietrangelo, Shattenkirk, sure, they're decent, but they aren't going to carry the team. You know, you have to have a full roster of team. A full roster of team. You have to have a full team that's going to produce. You want your fourth line, well, maybe not your fourth line, but you want your third line scoring just as often as your first line. If you can get a team that does that, you're going far. Now, granted, that'd be your third line against another team's third line. So, I mean, typically that's how it works. You know, granted, line changes. Sometimes your first line will be against their fourth line. If the first line's ever against your fourth line, you better score. I mean, well, typically, most teams' fourth lines are a check-in line. So, I mean, they don't have the skill or the finesse. But their main concern is, taking the body. Getting some hits, trying to wear down the enemy team. And maybe, then your future lines that go out there will be able to score against a weakened opponent. That is definitely a strategy teams use, but pretty much every team uses. We're on soundtrack 10? Are you serious? Oh, it's sorted by tune? I didn't know that. Wow. Cause I've taken a lot of snapshots from other tune. Wow, we're almost done. That's kind of surprising. I'm kind of surprised by that, actually. 2 penny pinchers, maybe. Something pretty interesting. Definitely curious of how well the Blues are going to do against the Blackhawks with Neil Yakupov. Granted, both those teams are technically rivals to the Minnesota Wild, technically. Granted, we will smoke the Blackhawks in seasonal play, but when it comes to playoffs, they'll just we don't even exist. I don't talk about. We're not a team anymore. We just don't exist. But St. Louis Blues are almost the exact opposite. They are a team that are just so great in the season and will just fall apart in the playoffs. Is this Swiss or street am I on? Punchline place, yeah. But they're a team that just falls apart in the playoffs, mainly because of the Blues play style. They are a body first, puck second team. They don't have a lot of skill and finesse players on their team. They don't have a lot of guys with, amazingly quick speed. But they got Neil Yakupov now, so I mean, so they've got one guy's speed, I guess. I'm not sure how fast Tarasenko is. He's not Yakupov fast, I can tell you that, but yeah. So that'll definitely be interesting. I'm not expecting them to win. I mean, especially, I would assume Yakupov's going to the first line. I couldn't imagine Yakupov not being in the first line. So, I mean, looking at the roster, you got Tarasenko. Maybe Tarasenko and Steen. That seems to be a good combo for that team. And you put Yakupov on the other wing, and that's your first line. I don't know what else their first line could be, honestly. Granted, I don't follow the Blues terribly closely, because I'm not a Blues fan. I mean... but, I live close to St. Louis, so I know the team. Probably more than the people around me. Because honestly, I've seen a bunch of... there are definitely people around me. Because I live in the zoo. There are definitely people around me that, they have St. Louis Blues jersey, and it's all fine and cool. But they probably couldn't tell you a guy on that team. Honestly, like, I see people wearing Oshie jerseys, Backus jerseys, like, okay. You do realize he no longer plays for your team, right? What? Yeah, he does. He's the captain. No, he's no longer a team. I disagree. Yeah. Oh, well. Where am I going? I just kind of clicked through it, talking about hockey. Oh, 8 level 2 cogs? Christ. We're gonna need a freaking... more gags. Oh, well. That kills that, right? Yeah, 3 times 4 is 12. Ugh. So yeah, there's the, the first portion of this episode, which was just hockey talk. I say this episode, of every episode, it was hockey talk. So now let's go into the UHH talk. Yeah. I won the first match 16-0. Won the second match 16-8. Third match as of Wednesday. This is the third day of the period. I am up 6-0. This guy has not scored a single achievement the entire tournament, so I don't think he's going to score an achievement. So basically won all 3 in the group stage round. Group stage round. I guess in the group stage makes more sense, doesn't it? Whatever. Ooh, are you level... Hey, it's a bloodsucker. It's gotta be level 2 or higher. Right. Ooh, but I can't kill him in one hit. Yeah, I can. Take that. See, here's where having level 4 gags isn't too much of an advantage, because I'm not getting XP out of this, but I can kill everything in one hit, so who cares? Is that level 2 or are you level 1? You're level 2, nice. So yeah, this is the last round of the group stage. Next week is bracket play. And that'll be fun. Actually going against people that are going to put up a fight. Granted, in round 2, 16-8, he kind of put up a fight. Kind of. At the beginning there was some threat of him possibly trying to overtake me. At one point it was 10-7 in my favor, of course, because he only got 8. But that's really as close as it got, because I started 7-2. 7-2, yeah. Yeah, because I just grabbed the 7 easiest achievements. And he really didn't. He did end up getting, I think, got most of the easy ones. But yeah, I mean, the strategy of UHH is figure out which achievements you can do in 5 minutes. Figure out which achievements require you playing through the game. And figure out which you can basically do in the background. Super sim them, basically. And figure out which ones, you need to do in co-op. And which ones you're never going to do. And save those for last. Because, there's no point in trying to get a Dark Souls achievement when you get 10 achievements way quicker. Unless that Dark Souls achievement's your last achievement. Then you can go for it. But, I say Dark Souls as my example, because I don't think I've popped a Dark Souls achievement for UHH yet. Ever. And I think I've gotten a Dark Souls achievement every single round. So, Dark Souls is definitely a game that is meant to be really hard. I mean, yeah, of course it's hard, but it doesn't seem like a game that is perfectly fair. Gameplay-wise, at least. Because there are definitely... The controls are not that great. And that adds the hardness of the game, sure, but it just doesn't... I mean, okay. You could still make your controls decent. Come on, guys. Anyhow, that would just involve me rambling and mumbling, which is all I do anyhow, so... Ooh, Flunky joined. Nice. Yeah, I'm not a Dark Souls fan. Especially when it's a game that can have chests eat you. Just just randomly, just a chest can just eat you for no reason. Well, there's a reason. It's because it's an enemy in the game. I don't know why, but it's an enemy in the game, and yeah, it sucks. Oh, God. I hate that game so much. And granted, I mean, the reason why a lot of people like the game is because it's a game that is designed to be hard. It's a game that you're not supposed to just instantly win. It's not going to guide you through it. You have to take your time. Maybe grind out a few levels here and there. It's not a game that's going to hold your hand throughout the game. It will try to kill you, as many times as possible. I'm just keep saying because that's the only way I can talk, apparently, Obviously. Ugh. Oh, it's just a 2HQ task, really? That's interesting. Huh. Why? Maybe I should have read the dialogue, but who reads the dialogue? Hey, Green Mouse. Hello, Jeff. The cold color raider, eh? It's experimental, but definitely useful. You could probably use this. Your laugh limit has increased by 2. That was a very easy 2 task. Nice. 3 cash bots or 2 bloodsuckers? 4 level, 2 plus cogs? That's not hard. 6 cogs. I'd rather the 4 level 2 plus, but definitely not taking the 4 level 3 plus, because that's harder than 4 level 2 plus for the same reward. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but whatever, okay. Oh. Let's go ride the trolley, yay! The trolley. So yeah, UHH, definitely going fairly well for me. Granted, it's just a group stage, and you just have to be in the top 512. That's the only requirement that matters. It doesn't matter if you're first, 47th, or 512th. You just gotta be in the top 512 to advance. There is no seeding, meaning that first will not play last. The first, first place will not play 512th. That is not a thing. So, just like how in F1 qualifying, if you get first place in Q1, that means literally nothing when it comes to Q2. Granted, if you get, first place has just as likely of a chance of making Q3 as 16th place does. Granting that first and 16th place are driving the same car, and not one's a Mercedes and the other is a Haas. I mean, because I can tell you, Mercedes has a much better chance of winning pole position than Haas. In fact, Mercedes will win pole position, and Haas will not, is almost how the probabilities work. There is pretty much a 100% chance that Mercedes is going to get pole position, and there's pretty much a 0% chance. I'm honestly not sure if there has been a pole position awarded to a non-Mercedes so far this year. Yeah, I know, in the course of F1, of course there was, but this season, I'm not sure if there was. Oof, well, we're, 23 minutes in the episode, which means the game is allowed to crash. Of course it is. I hope I got my jelly beans, that'd be nice. I mean, look at this freaking screen, come on, this looks great. I do like how they have customized screens per what event's going on. That is a great touch. Honestly, I love it. Whew. So I'll definitely, get more effort, put more effort into keeping you guys posted on UHH when bracket play comes along, because it's do or die there. You lose, you're gone. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated about that more. I want to put that in the video somehow, but the YouTube editor, I don't even think it exists. Basically, I can combine clips together, and I can add transitions. I am pretty sure those are the only two things I can do. I can't, I guess I can put annotations on the video, but that's not attached to the video. I mean, I'd rather it be attached to the video. Oh, what'd I do? I didn't do anything. Huh. I got the alert that said, hey, your game clip was recorded, as soon as I pressed the Windows key. I thought that canceled my recording. I guess it didn't. That's interesting, actually. Okay. For level 2, I'm having gags. Oh god, what? What? What the heck? I'm not actually sure why or how I did that. Whatever. Because my page up key is attached to my arrow key. My home key is attached to my left arrow key. So page down's down arrow key, and end is the right arrow key. So I'll press fin in order to, hit those buttons. I'm on a laptop. I guess I should preface that. That's kind of weird. So, anytime I want to check if I've got gags, which is very oftenly no, I do not. I have to hit basically fin in the right arrow key. Which is a little weird, honestly. My old laptop didn't have it like that. Granted, my old laptop was terrible, and this is a really good laptop. I mean, it's got like 32 freaking gigs of RAM, which that's ridiculous. I'll never use that much RAM. It's got a quad-core CPU processor. And, I mean, those are really the major things about it. I could go on and on about this computer, I guess. I couldn't. But if I had the thing in front of the thing that says, hey, this is details computer, I could. I'm just rambling at this point, as you can tell. I guess I should do that. Okay. So I've talked quite a bit about, UHH. There's not a whole lot I can really update you about as of right now. I can show you my list. Actually, I can't really show you my list. I can read off my list, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to win round 3. There's my third round at least. There's no way I'm not, because my opponent didn't even show up for the entire contest. So I basically already won round 3. And I'm going to advance into the group stage, or the bracket play. I think at the time recording, I'm in like 42nd place overall, and that's not counting the 10 I will get from the 10 points I get from the win. Granted, it's not counting the 10 points anybody will get from the win. So I'm pretty sure everybody up here is going to win their match, unless they're matched up with each other, in which case, of course, they'll lose. But I don't imagine that's going to be a whole lot of people. A little tired, but so is everybody. We're midway through the semester, and everybody started at this point. Exams, or this second round exams, because college basically has 3 exams for every course. Every real course, I should say. Which is, instead of your high school that has like maybe a test every, let's say, 2 weeks. I wasn't sure if that guy was German battle, so I waited a little bit, but whatever. Which, it sucks having that many tests, but the tests aren't worth 15% of your grade. You can fail a test and get an A in a class. I mean, you could absolutely do that in high school, but not, college. I mean, you can get A minus. I guess it depends how bad you fail it. So we've talked about UHH, we've talked about hockey. What else is there to talk about? F1, of course. Because basically that's how these episodes are going to be divided. It's going to divide into hockey, UHH, F1. You have those three segments, and then maybe a rant about Toontown every now and then. At least until I get out of Toontown Central, which might be fairly soon. At this pace, like, come on. We might get out of there maybe 2 episodes from now. I don't know how. I seem to remember that this taking a lot longer. Granted, I never had this high level of gags before going into, Toontown Central. And I mean, that's definitely speeding the process, because these cog fights are nothing. Let's just walk up to level 3, throw 2 gags at him, turn and pass. That's what this is. Granted, there's never been a whole lot of strategy in Toontown Central. It's, hey, this is how you learn the game. This is what happens when you do this. Oh, man. Like, I remember back to when I first played Toontown online. First time I went through Toontown Central. I mean, this does a good job of teaching you the game, definitely. But yeah, back when Toontown Online was a really, really popular game. When they had 5 busy districts at all times, and every district was, pretty busy-ish. Maybe ideal. With the occasional quiet district, because of course there's the occasional quiet district, but you wouldn't get put into that district. And, Toontown Central, you could switch districts, because there was no real point to. Yes. We're doing that one. Are you kidding me? How does that one just now come up? But, like, back when you couldn't find a cog building on Toontown Central streets. Sorry, I heard my door. Okay. But yeah, back when you really couldn't find a cog building on Toontown Central streets without, like, 40 people crowding the entrance, be like, I want to get in, I want to get in, I want to get in. And of course, they would all stay there because they knew anybody who went in there died, because no one had the gags to defeat that in Toontown Central. Are you kidding me? No one did. So everybody who went in there died. So, I mean, that building would stay there until, somebody trained their lure, came in, and like, oh, well, screw it, I'll take on this building. It's not hard, it's a level 1 cog building. I'll just solo it. Well, you're not soloing it, but I'll just practically solo it with 3 guys who don't know anything. Only have a cupcake and squirting flour. Man. Loopy Lane, okay. I don't know why I didn't just do this, but whatever. God, I also remember when, you'd have, like, you have major battles. Be like 4 tunes against 4 cogs. Granted, typically, the 4 cogs be like level 2 or 3. And they would just keep joining because, if there's 4 tunes in a battle and a cog walks up to that battle, a cog's more likely to join that battle. It's just something that happens. Of course, on the other side of the street, why wouldn't it be? But yeah, that's just something that happens, and that battle lasted quite a bit, and anytime a team would die, someone would just walk right in, because there was a freaking crowd around that battle. It's like, we want to see what happens. We want to see, can the guys with 19 laugh and their highest gag being... You can't even see that. I don't level 2 gag throw is the whole fruit pie slice. Fruit pie slice. There we go. But that being their highest throw gag, with a cup of water being their highest squirt gag, fighting level 2s and 3s, you know, it didn't turn out too well. Anyhow, thanks for coming. The cog stole all my goldfish. I think the cogs want to sell them to make a quick buck. Those 5 fish have been my only companions in this tiny store for many years. Like 15 years to be exact. If you could get them, get them back for me, I'd really appreciate it. I'm sure one of the cogs has my fish. Defeat cogs until you find my goldfish. Is it just defeat cogs? Nice. Ugh. But yeah. I mean, Toontown used to be a really popular game back when it was advertised quite a bit. You know, it's since fallen off to this point. Which, I mean, this is still decently popular for a, game that came out in 2001. That's being remade. And it's pretty consistently maybe 3,000 people on, maybe. Granted, we're in Toon tests, so that might be a lot higher. Right now, might be 3,500. But we're in Toonfest, which doesn't honestly do a whole lot for of anything, so it might be less than that, honestly. No, please go away. Oh wow, I already got it. I seem to remember that being a lot harder. Harder as in not getting good RNG, but I got good RNG there, so I'll take it. So anyways, let's talk a little bit of F1. Got my fish. What's this receipt? Oh no! Oh no! Okay. Let's talk a little bit of F1 then. We're gonna play. Whoops! I don't. Who cares? What? Last weekend was the Chinese Grand Prix, right? It was in Suzuka, so yeah, Japanese Grand Prix. Something didn't sound right, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Punchline placed, right? Yeah. But so yeah, it was the Japanese Grand Prix, which Japanese track is definitely a more interesting track, because it's a figure eight, basically. I mean, it is. Granted, don't cross the same road, because that's dangerous, of course. For those of you who have no idea what, Suzuka is. I'm just hearing screaming in the background, by the way. I'm not sure why. But yes, basically, it's a figure eight track. Which means that, the track is neither clockwise anti-clockwise. So, tire wear is kind of even among your left and right tires. Anyhow, before I just stumble my way into not ever... It's right here, right? Yeah. Remember that. Nope. A goldfish from the flunkies, okay. Some was a decent race. Hamilton got off to a terrible, terrible start. because of course he did. What else does Hamilton do? Just starts terribly. And I think he dropped like 7th place. Basically, he he dropped to the level where the Haas cars were both behind him. There were the next cars behind him. And that's not that, that's pretty bad, honestly. That just shows you how much of a difference the start has in the race. If you make an abysmal start, your race is over. Just like, this game, and engine's working. Game crashed, by the way. Okay, we are back. So yeah, the Japanese Grand Prix. Uh, you know, definitely interesting race. Not the most interesting race of the season, of course, but definitely a pretty good race. Yeah. Hamilton got off to a terrible start, of course, which basically gave the win to Rosberg, because the Mercedes just sat dominant, to where if one Mercedes doesn't get off the line, it's over. The other one has won. Ugh. So, there was definitely a lot of complaints about, from your top drivers, your mainly Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, of basically blue flag. Get these lapped cars out of the way. I'm not racing for position. Get them out of the way. Which, I mean, it is their job to get out of the way. Because otherwise, you are hampering the leader's races. Wow, you've already covered the goldfish. Are you kidding me? Mind loop lane? I'm not, okay. But yeah, they have to get out of the way, because a second is a major, major difference. And, being held up by... how did you go sad? We're in Toontown Central, guy. Come on. Punchline place, right? Loopy lane. Yeah, okay. It's weird. I'm not getting notifications when I'm ending a game clip until, like, I hit the windows key on accident trying to hit the fin key. It's kind of weird. But, in motorsports especially, really in any race, a second is a major, major thing. To you and me, a second is just nothing. You won't notice a second difference, but in a race where an hour-long race and the winner is determined by 30 seconds even, a 30-second gap is basically half the racetrack. Let's put it that way. It's nothing. 30 seconds is such a big gap. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyhow, lap cars need to get out of the way. Come on. And there are definitely a lot of complaints about that from Verstappen and Vettel. Of course, Vettel's been complaining about blue flags pretty much the entire season. Because you don't want to be held up by, let's say the Manners, the Saubers. You don't want to be held up by, let's go back to Toontown Central, come on. You don't want to be held up in your fight to try to take it to Mercedes. Because Mercedes, they're so dominant, it's not funny. If you're in the lead, like Vettel was in the lead somehow, because Hamilton basically was behind Vettel the entire race, pretty much. He ended up getting around him, I think, on the pit exchange. And a pit stop, I should say. Pit exchange. I'm just rambling at this point, and I'm sure you can tell. But yeah, I mean, the FIA needs to enforce some stricter rules about getting out of the way when in case of a blue flag. Because, I mean, even though those guys are racing their own race as well, in the grand scheme of in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really make too much of a difference in their race, because these are all midfield teams battling it out, which definitely is important. Don't get me wrong; it's important to get all the points you can. The difference between 10th and 11th is like $4 million as far as the constructors championship goes, but which by 11th is dead last. So points definitely do matter for those teams, But really, the end product is who's going to win the race. That's the end product of every race, is who is going to win. Not who's going to get 10th, who's going to get 7th, who's going to win. Maybe who's your opponent finishers, because it's going to be Mercedes who wins. So who will be the furthest up finishing non-Mercedes? So, which Red Bull or Ferrari? That also is there. I can't talk, and I'm sure you've noticed that at this point. You swing cartoon tasks. Ooh, a double talker. Could do that. Bond fader. But yeah, they gotta get out of the way, and Carlos Sainz just wasn't letting anybody get around him. And which I like Sainz. I like Toro Rosso. They're a great team. They used to be. When Verstappen was still with them, but then because of how bad Kvyat was doing, it really wasn't about that. But Kvyat wasn't doing that great, and Verstappen was doing absolutely amazing. Carry 50 jelly beans. I might get that. Sure. They moved Verstappen to Red Bull and demoted Kvyat to Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso and Red Bull are sister teams, where Red Bull is their team of the two. But both teams, at the beginning of the season, were competitive. They would both consistently get in the top 10. Since then, Toro Rosso has fallen off the pace, which that does suck, but whatever. So yeah, Rosberg won the race, and he's basically already won the championship. I think he's 33 points up on his teammate Hamilton, which sucks because, especially for Hamilton, because Mercedes and all of their engine failures are just failures of the car. May not be in the season, but more notably at Malaysia, where Hamilton's car just had an engine failure, and that was the end of his race, giving basically, he's in first, so basically that just gave Rosberg 43 points. No, sorry, 28 free points. I'll work out the math when I reload the game. Okay. Reload the game, and yeah, it'd be 28 free points because... Oh, net change 28 points because... take away 25 points Hamilton would have got and add 3 points because instead of getting fourth, Rosberg would have got third, which is a change from 12 to 15, which is 3 more points. So basically that gave Rosberg 28 points. Just 23 points, and Rosberg's done quite a few of those, especially in the beginning of the season where Rosberg was of course dominating. He won the first 4 races of the season until he took both Hamilton and himself out of the race because he was trying to prevent Hamilton from passing him. Which, I mean, if Hamilton wasn't his teammate, you'd be more just, but you cannot just block your teammate illegally. If you're gonna prevent your teammate from getting around you, which, granted, they are rivals. Your teammate in F1 is your biggest rival. It's just how it is. Because that's the only person that you can be accurately compared to. I'll talk more about that later, but you cannot prevent your teammate from getting around you by basically cutting them off. You've got to give them the space to get around you. You can block them all you want. Granted, you can make one move, but you have to give them space. At least one car length of space on the side of them. On the side of you, I should say. You gotta at least have one car length of road on the side you are defending from. That's the rules. Cash boss, right? Yeah. But I mean, that's part of the rules. You have to do this. Rosberg did not. Hamilton, who had an amazing run, because Rosberg wasn't even in the right engine mode, apparently. But Hamilton had an amazing run off of, I think, like the third corner. You know, realized something was wrong with Rosberg's car. Capitalized. Or was attempted to. Rosberg attempted to block. Forcing Hamilton off the road. And they crashed into each other, and that was the end of the race. The only time Mercedes have actually ever both taken each other out. I mean, that caused for Verstappen. This was his first race at Red Bull, and he won. So I mean, that was great. That was definitely, that might have been the best race of the season. You know, at least to watch if you're not a Mercedes fan. If you're a Mercedes fan, it's every race for that one. It's great to watch. Aside the one where Hamilton blew his engine, unless you're a Rosberg fan, then Hamilton blowing his engine was something amazing to see because he's basically won at that point. He's basically won the drivers' championship at that point. He hasn't won yet. Hamilton could still pull back if Rosberg doesn't finish here in the Circuit of Americas, the American Grand Prix. But it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Well, what else can I talk about? Considering I think we're probably about an hour at this point. I think I started at 1:30ish. Granted, I'm not editing this episode. Besides combining the clips together. I can do that with the YouTube editor, so whatever. I can talk for as long as I want, really. Clash of Clans is actually gonna have an update. I guess I can talk about that, because I do play Clash of Clans. They're actually in the middle of updating the game right now, as we speak. Or as I speak. As of the time of release, the game's already been updated. Let me pull up the update list of what they are releasing. So I do know a few things like the Bomb Tower, Arranged Awards, but I'd rather have the list in front of me when I'm talking about it. Okay. So new content and balancing. Introduce the bomb tower Talent 8. Basically, that is a splash damage defense that, when destroyed, it will drop a bomb and kill, well, not kill, but injure any troops around it. I don't know how much damage it does, but basically, it could potentially stop mass Valkyries, mass miners from 3-starring anything with ease. Because before this update, it basically, the game is at a state where you could just queue up Valkyries, and you've 3-starred any Town Hall 9. Queue up Miners, you've 3-starred any Town Hall 10. Bowlers were mainly used for Town Hall 11, I think. I think Miners also were, but mainly Bowlers. And Bowler, well, we'll get there, we'll cross that when we get there, but Miners and Valkyries, they are a melee troop that were just dealing too much damage. Honestly, this nerf should have came a long time ago. Or they're actually not even nerfing the Miners or the Valks directly. It's an indirect nerf, which, okay. This is gonna have effects on, your farming attacks like Barch, or really anything that is kind of a horde-ish kind of attack. Mass witches, anything that comes in a horde, basically. Anything with a lot of X troop, and where each individual troop doesn't have too much health. So new troop levels for the Dragon, Baby Dragon, Wizard, cool. New defense levels for the Expo, Mortar, and Pendessa, cool. 25 more walls to Town Hall 11. I hope you Town Hall 11s are gonna like that. I'm sure you won't, cause yeah, have fun with that, guys. Whew. Lots of upgrade costs and times reduced. Mainly for the things that got new levels, but okay, so I can't start recording. Nice, okay. But yeah, lots of upgrades cost and times reduced, mainly for the things that are getting a new level. Rebalancing with the Witch and Skeleton spell. Basically, they're gonna make the Skeleton spell do a lot more damage. Do a lot more damage. I mean, technically, yes, but it's gonna spawn a lot more skeletons over a longer period of time, as well as buffing the Witch, which means the Witch is gonna do more damage. I'm not sure if her skeletons are being changed at all. I don't think they are. I think it's just the Witch getting more damage, getting more health as well. The Clan Wars, loot, and XP have been revisited. I'm not sure how they're changing the XP. I know the max you get now for a top base is 10 XP. I'm not sure how that is going to work. 2 HQ right here. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it might. Where's 2 HQ? I just saw it. They also were apparently, supposedly, balancing changes to Clan War matchmaking, trying to fix the engineered bases from 3-star and anybody at will. Or not 3-star anybody at will, but basically, the engineered bases, your Town Hall 8.5s, 9.5s, just basically that clan destroying whoever they get matched up against. I mean, okay. They've also redone the army camp and army training system, which I do think that looks cool. I think that is going to be a great addition to the game. The ability that you can now save, a certain attack, and just press one button and train that attack. I think that is going to be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I don't see any words for that. I mean, if you're really curious for the update, look it up. As well as Friendly Wars. Friendly Wars can be as short as 1 hour and as small as 5v5. That's gonna be great, especially for intramural clan wars. And yeah, you can now search players by tag. That is interesting. There's not too many occasions where you'd want to do that, but definitely interesting. And you can now add friends in Clash via player profiles. Huh. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a pretty nice update. Yeah, hopefully there'll be more changes to the game, add more features to the game, but definitely arranged wars, or I guess friendly wars, what they're calling it, is gonna be very interesting. So I think we'll fight a few more cash bots and then call it an episode, because I've been recording for maybe an hour at this point. I'd like to get back to my UHH, but you know, soloing this game. I do think that it's gonna be a lot of fun. Granted, soloing TTC, okay, that happens all the time. In the higher playgrounds, especially the bosses, if I can even do the bosses, mainly higher playgrounds, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Penny pincher, nice. I think I need 2 penny pinchers, right? Yeah. Just throw that at it, screw it. Might as well, right? Oh, no well. I don't think he was expecting me to throw a whole fruit pie at him. No, who cares? I'm sure he does. I mean, I went to a quiet district for a reason. Come on. Now, I did see a cash bar behind me, but I'm looking for a penny pincher. If I can't find one, I'll just fight that cash bot, and it doesn't really look like I'm gonna find one. Yeah. Not finding a whole lot here. Here's halfway through the street. Nope. Okay. That's the only cash bot in the street, apparently. Nice. You know, it's actually amazing how small these streets are. Like, you don't think about it, but these streets are really small. Honestly, it's kind of surprising how small these streets really are. Because, I mean, that cash bot also was at the corner of the street. By the time it took, from the time it took me to walk from one end of the street to the other, back down this cash bot, he didn't move that far. Which is interesting to think about, honestly. Anyhow, stop rambling pretty quick here. Once I kill this, get the adding machine. That's gonna be in the episode. And maybe I'll make a list of things to talk about for next episode. I definitely won't. 47 group messages. Christ, guys. What the flip, guys? What the heck are you guys talking? My floor has a group chat, by the way. That's what I'm talking about. Do you guys know if we can miss one big class and still pass? Just any... Jesus. Okay. Wow. Whatever. That'll do it for this episode of Let's Solo Toontown Rewritten. I will see you guys next time.